Hello guys, this is Wordo Plays What Ifs here, and this is my new series, Creatures of the Night. Why don't we begin? Ring 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 ring, ring 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 ring, ring 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 ring. Oh god damn it, another day as our main female lead, Queen, that's her name. Our female main lead is Queen Quinzel. I'm not going to say her middle name yet, though. Just Queen Quinzel. But yeah, that's her name. As she stops her alarm. As she gets up. Ugh. Another morning again. Ugh. It's the same thing every day. I get up, I get ready for school, I ace my tests, I ace everything. I ace mainly the PE portion, but not really gonna talk about that. I guess I'm just too good at sports, but life is so boring. I'm so good at everything, as she says out loud. Everything's so repetitive. It just it's getting boring every day. Life is just boring. She says that she finally, after griping a little bit because of the alarm clock woke her up, she finally got out of bed and started brushing her teeth and doing her daily necessities in the morning. After she got dressed and everything, she went downstairs to go in the kitchen because she smelled breakfast. Her father always made some good ass breakfast. She don't know what it was about her father. He was just good at everything, like her. But with food though, he was something else. It's like he is out of this world whenever he makes food. She asked him many times, why doesn't he become a chef? He just says, I just don't want to. And he says, I already have a job anyways. She just stopped asking one day. She just stopped asking. After he told her that. As she gets into the kitchen and she sits down, as she's just watching her father work in the kitchen, as he looks like he's a pro, as he's making things freaking fly up in the air, doing old flips with the food and breakfast and all that. He's making everything look fancy. It looks like he's putting on a show for her today. Dad, what are you doing? As he says, I'm putting on a show. As she says, I thought so. Why are you putting on a show today? As he says, I don't know. I just feel like it, daughter. I just feel like it, baby girl. As she's his baby girl. He calls her that. As she'll always be his little baby girl. As she yawns and stretches as she says, okay, I can't wait till breakfast is ready. As she stretches. As he says, any minute now. As he readies 2 plates. as he finally sets the two plates down. He made omelets for breakfast today with a lot of meat and extra things in the omelets. She, just by looking at the omelets, she is very famished. She is very hungry. As she's scarfing it down, as Silver. That's her father's name, Silver. Her father's name is Silver, yeah. Silver Quinzel. Silver Grim Quinzel. That is his full name. Well, her full name is Queen Raper Quinzel. As whenever the time passes and they're done with their breakfast, she gets her bag, book bag, and she gets ready to go to school. As she starts to walk off, as Silver says, "Baby girl, come back here and give me a kiss before you go to school." As she gets annoyed, but she does it anyways, and she kisses him on the cheek and hugs him, saying, "Goodbye, Dad. I'll see you later whenever I get back from school." As he says, "Yes. Don't you go off anywhere else. Right whenever school ends, you come right back here. 'Cause I need to tell you something. I got something very important to tell you tonight." As he's being serious now. He's not really usually serious. He's more of the how do I say, laid back type, but right now he's very serious. She's caught off guard by that. She asks, "Is that serious that you're being like this?" As Silver just nods and sighs as he says, "Yes, yes, Queen. You need to come here ASAP after school ends, and I need to tell you something very important. It has to do with our bloodline." As she says, "Okay. Whenever I come back from school, can we visit her grave, please?" As Silver just nods. As he says, "Yes, we'll visit your mother's grave whenever you get back here. We'll buy some flowers too whenever we go to her grave." As she nods, as she leaves the house and she goes off to school. She's not too far from school, so she can easily walk there. She is very agile and she's very good at athletics. She's very athletic, so it doesn't take her too long to go to school or walk or jog to school from her house. She can easily just ride her bike there, as she mostly always rides her bike. What she's doing today, she gets her bike and she starts riding to her high school. She likes moving her body. She likes moving her muscles. Just being, just moving alone just makes her feel better and not just not move. But yeah, I would say 10 minutes passes and she gets she's at school. She's in the front doors of school as she brings her bike and changes it up to the chaining post to the bikes. As she makes sure that no one's gonna steal her bike, as it happened before, as she wasn't careful and someone stole her bike without her knowing. So she had to get a new bike and buy a chain this time, so no one will steal it. As she's walking into her school and she's walking through the hallways, finally she gets to her class room, her first classroom. She says, "Here's the start of another boring day, another boring day." As she walks in, and her boring day begins. She is very popular in school, as everyone puts her on a pedestal, cause she's pretty much the queen of her school. But she doesn't really interact with anyone, as they see her as the ice princess, the icy princess, or the ice princess, as most people will call her. As she doesn't really interact with anyone, and she just doesn't interact with anyone. That's why they call her that. As she's pretty much a loner. She just time passes and she gets into her second period, I would say. Your second period. She finally meets her best friend, Blake. Blake is a friendly girl. She's very quiet and very reserved like her, which is why she likes her. Blake is very into reading. You always see Blake into a book. You will see her nose always up in a book. As she would always see Blake reading how do I say a very old books with text she could not really read or understand. As she just thinks it's probably another language, probably a dead language that I don't know. As she is very smart herself, she knows quite a few languages. She knows English because she is from Texas. She is born in Texas, in the United States. So yeah, she knows English. She knows Japanese. She knows Italian. She knows Spanish. She knows a lot. She knows most of the languages in this world, but she doesn't get into the very old ones. She I would say she walks up to Blake and she starts a conversation with her. She says, "Hey Blake, what you reading?" As Blake looks at Queen, and she says, "A book on a dead language. It's Latin." As Queen just nods as she says, "Cool." Very bored, like, cause she is very bored. As Blake just says, "Still bored?" As Queen just nods as she says, I'm always bored. I'm great at everything. As Blake just chuckles a little bit. I wouldn't peg someone that's great at everything as a curse. You treat it like it's a curse, being great at everything. God, I wish I was great at everything like you. You're great at studies and you're great at athletics. You're great at sports. You're great on so many subjects. It's unreal. I can I can't count on all of them in my on my fingers. As Queen just chuckles at that as she just says, well, I think it is in a sense a curse. I love learning things, but am I too good at learning things? I don't know. How does this work? As she's asking him that question, as Blake just um moves her shoulders up, as she just shrugs her shoulders, as she says, I don't know. I guess you just have God must just God must love you. As I would say, Queen just says, huh, if God gave me this ability to learn everything so quickly and be great at everything, I want him to take it back. As I don't need talent from God. I can be great by myself and I don't need no help from no one. As she says very arrogantly. As Blake just chuckles as she says, still so arrogant I see. As Queen just says, of course, I'm arrogant because of my ability, because I'm born with this. I'm great at everything, like really. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm not going to say anymore. As she just says, let's go on another topic. As I would say, time passes, and Blake and Queen are just chilling right now. They're having a good time just chatting and all their periods because they have most of their periods together. Most of their classes are together. It's just the first period they don't have first period together. As I would say, yeah, the day passes and school's finally over. And she starts walking out of the school with Blake as they're just chatting girl stuff as she unchains her bike and she says, okay Blake, I gotta go. I need to see my father ASAP as he needs to tell me something, it seems like. As Blake just nods as she says, okay, Queen, I'd like to know what he has to tell you. Tell me what's so important whenever he tells you that. As she says, I'm curious. Your dad is not really the type to do something like this. As I would say Queen says, I agree with you. It just depends on the subject. I'll tell you if it's not that bad or sensitive to my family. As Blake just nods as she just walks away, starts walking the opposite direction of Queen. As Queen starts to pedal and pedal to her house. As I would say, when she arrives at her house, she puts her bike up and she's looking around and she sees a note on a table next to the front door. As she picks it up and it says, Queen, I have some urgent business to take care of. I'll tell you whenever I get back from work. As whenever she reads that, she kind of gets irritated, but she reads. She reads go to the kitchen and you see the flowers in the kitchen. You can get the flowers and go to your mom's grave without me. I hate my damn job. As that is written on the note, as Queen kind of laughs at that, as she says, I wonder what your job even is. Like, really, you never tell me, Dad. As she's speaking to herself pretty much. Dad never tells me what his job is. Sometimes he's so secretive, it's like I don't even know him really. But I bet he has his reasons. As it's getting very late, as she sees the sun coming down, or the sun starting to set, as she thinks I need to go to the grave very fast before night totally falls. As she brings her bike and she gets the no, before she goes back to her bike, she runs and gets the flowers for her mom's grave. As she runs back to her bike, as she rides to the cemetery near her house. As she's riding, she doesn't she likes the nighttime, but her father always tells her to always be indoors at night around a certain period of time. So she needs to do this quick. Because she has a curfew pretty much. As she, by now, the sun is setting right now. The sun is, it's a sunset right now. The sun is setting right now. It's in the setting point. As she's walking toward her mother's grave, as she does her condolences, as she just looks at her mother's grave. As she just sees her mother's name on the grave, Violet Quinzel. That's what's written on the grave. As she puts the bouquet, the flowers down on her mother's grave, as she is praying that her mother is in a better place. Because all her life she has felt guilt because she never knew her mother. Her mother died by giving birth to her from childbirth. As Queen has had a certain guilt because she feels like she's the reason why her mother is dead. Her father never held it against her at all, as he says, "This is just what happens, my dear daughter. This is life. Life is pretty dark. Life is Life has a lot of pain and suffering in it, but there's also beauty in life." As her father never how do I say, held back on what he always thinks. He tells her what it is, pretty much. He tells her since a young age, life is going to be hard, Queen. You might have a lot of life is a hard thing to deal with, pretty much. Life is hard, so yeah. Life will never be easy. As he's just telling her how it is, how life is. So she knew from a young age what life is like and how dark it can get. As by now the sun is disappearing while the moon is shining bright. Is coming out. The moon is popping out now. As it's getting pretty dark very fast, as she thinks, okay, I'll have to go back for curfew. As she I would say walks out of the graveyard. As she's getting on her bike, as she's paddling towards her house. I don't know how to do this scene. As Queen is just riding her bike. As she rides her bike near an entrance of a alley. Before she knows it, she's blindsided by something very fast and powerful. As the next thing she knows, she is slammed against a wall, a brick wall in the alleyway. As she is freaking she got the breath knocked out of her, as she is just confused and everything. As she's feeling a little bit of fear right now, as she doesn't know what's happening. As she's panicking, as she's looking around, as she's seeing what was happening. As she sees this figure. As she sees this figure right here. But instead of white hair, this figure has pure black hair, actually. I don't want him to have white hair. He doesn't have white hair. He has pure black hair. As she just seeing this boy around her age just looking, staring at her, as she's just looking into his eyes, as she sees his red glowing eyes, and she sees his fangs just coming out of his mouth, as she's feeling intense fear, and she doesn't know why she's feeling so much fear right now, as she's just confused and just in pure shock and fear. This primal fear is just coming to the surface as she's trying to run for it. She's trying to run from the entrance where he is, trying to run from him, pretty much. As the figure runs up to her with super speed and grabs her neck, as she thinks, no, 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 sweet cheeks, no. You're not going anywhere. I'm gonna have my fun with you. As he laughs evilishly. As she is in pure terror. She thinks, how did he run up to her that fast? That's not even human no more. As he brings her neck up to his face, as he smiles evilly, as he says, "This is gonna hurt, little one." As he bites down on her neck, as she screams in pain, as she's trying to get away, as she's trying to freaking punch him and everything that she can to survive, as her survival instinct has kicked in, as she's kicking the shit out of his ribs, in his face, in the back of his head, as he's pulling his hair right now, as she's trying to pull his head back from her neck, as she actually kind of manages to do so, as he's getting irritated, and whenever she sees that she has a enough room to do so, she punches his the front of his face with her hand, her other hand that was free, as he lets her go with angry eyes, as he says, "You shouldn't have done that, girl." As he's getting a little pissed now. As she's running for her life right now. As she's running back to the graveyard. She's screaming for help. And right now it's fully dark. It is nighttime. The moon is out. It is a bright full moon. As she's screaming for help. As this boy is just playing with her and toying with her, as he's laughing evilly, as he says, "No one's going to help you, dear. You're going to die without no one even knowing you're gone. You're going to die without anyone missing you." As she thinks to herself while she's crying hysterically while running back to the graveyard, as she thinks, "No, that's not true. My father loves me. He'd miss me." As this figure is just toying with her, as he's just watching his food run in terror, as she's just toying with it. He sees her nothing but a blood bag for him to suck dry right now. As she thinks, is this a monster? What is this guy? Is he even considered a human? His strength is outrageous. As she's just thinking all this in her mind, as she's thinking, his red eyes were glowing, his fingernails were pretty sharp. As whenever he was holding her, his fingernails kind of stuck into her skin pretty easily. As his nails are very sharp. As she hasn't seen his ears yet. She hasn't seen his pointed ears because his hair is covering it. All she can see is his nose, eyes, and his teeth. And knowing the fact that he sucked her blood, as she thinks, nah, it's not possible. That cannot be real. As he just as she's in the I would say, yeah, she just ran into the graveyard right now, as she's trying to find anything to fight against this monster, this vampire. No, I wouldn't say she knows it's really a vampire, but she knows it sucks he sucked her blood, but doesn't mean anything. That's all she knows, is this thing is a monster. as she finds a shovel um in a next to a dug dug up grave that has all the pile of dirt next to the what's it called hole, pretty much. That hole is pretty much waiting for a casket and body to go into it. As she picks up the shovel, as she charges at the monster that's just playing and toying with her, as she's trying to swing against him, but he's just dodging easily, just laughing psychotically as he says, "Really? You human, you blood bag, think you can fight against me, a vampire?" As he laughs even harder, as he says, uh, that's pretty funny, but this is where it ends. As he runs up to her and he chokes her he's choking her as he just holds her up from the ground, as he takes the shovel away from her hand, and he just throws it toward the hole, the dug up hole, pretty much. As he just says, it's sad that I have to kill you on this note, but I have things to do. I'm very busy. I'm a very busy man. As he brings her neck to his closer to his mouth once again, as he bites down on her, as he is just sucking the life out of her, pretty much. He is sucking her blood and taking it away, as she is struggling, but the more he's sucking her blood, she's just going limp. By the time he's done, he says, "Wait a minute." As he's looking closer to her, as he thinks, "You're a pretty one." As he gets an even more evilish smirk, which is terrifying Queen to her core. She is terrified to her core, and her puffed up her puffed eyes, with her streaks of tears coming down her face, as her body's just limp right now, as she can't do nothing against this guy, whatever he's thinking of doing to her. As he just thinks, "You're a pretty one. You know what? I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna make you like me." As he says, "This is gonna be fun." As he laughs out loud, as he says, "I haven't done this in ages. I haven't made someone like me in so long. This might be entertaining." As he bites into his own wrist. He bites into his own wrist, as blood is dripping from his wrist, as he puts his wrist toward Queen's mouth, as he's just holding her mouth open with his wrist, as she's drinking his blood that he's giving her, as she has no choice but to keep her mouth open. She's afraid of what he would do to her. But as she's drinking his blood is very, how do I say, good to humans. As she's sucking it as much as she can, as he takes his wrist away from her mouth, as he smirks even more, as he says, "You're gonna be a good one." If you think my blood is good, as he no, he doesn't say that, as he thinks the more a human thinks a vampire's blood is, the more bloodthirsty they will be, as he thinks she might be a very bloodthirsty vampire, even more than me. As he laughs to himself, I might have got a good catch. She might be perfect for this type of lifestyle. Who knows? I'll keep an eye on her, but I have stuff to do very quickly. So let's get this done with, over and done with. As he just thinks, huh? As he is done holding her, as he puts her down, as she is just trying to stand up, just stand still, as she's holding on to a how do I say, a gravestone, pretty much. She's just holding on, just keeping herself up. And she's just trying to keep herself up and going, just up and standing, pretty much. As she is just trying to stand, and well, she's looking at the monster in front of her, as she's just thinking, I'm very cold. As she says that out loud, I'm very, as she says cold. As he smirks, this is the process, dear. As he looks around and he laughs even more, not even noticing. He never noticed this whole time, and he thinks, this is, wow, this is so funny. You are in luck. I didn't even notice. We are in an unholy territory. This is the perfect place to turn you into a vampire. As he just laughs psychotically, as he says, this might be destiny for you, sweet cheeks. All the signs are pointing to it. As he laughs even more. You might have some twisted fate going on, sweet cheeks. As she is, after the cold, her body feeling cold subsides. Right now, her heart, she went to her knees after a little bit, and she's feeling the pain in her heart, as she's feeling so much pain in her heart. And then she collapsed to the ground finally, as she passes out and dies. As he smirks, as he picks her up, and he brings her to the grave, the dug grave. As he thinks, everything is pretty much set up for this girl. I swear to God, I swear this is freaking fate for this girl. Like really, if I don't know what fate is, if I didn't know what fate is, I swear this would be it. Like really, I don't know. As he just thinking to himself, but he just laughs as he says, this is just funny. As he throws her into the grave. As he brings his shovel, as he's shoveling up the dirt on the side, as he's covering her with dirt. As he thinks, unholy territory is the perfect place for a vampire to be born. As he's just waiting, after a while, as he finally made as he covered her fully with dirt and all that, as he's just waiting right now for a little bit of time to pass, as he's just right now, after a few moments pass, as he's feeling the ground rumble a little bit, as he smirks. As he thinks some might not survive this process, some will. It's a 50-50 chance. As he thinks, which one are you? Are you going to survive or are you not going to survive, girly? As he, Thank you, Ethan Smith, for subscribing. You were on this episode of my new series. So, yeah. There's your shout out. But, yeah. As he's just smiling and just waiting, as he sees a hand come out of the ground, as he is jumping in joy, as he is very excited right now, as he thinks she survived the process. This was meant to be. This is fate. The gears of fate is rolling for you, girly. I don't know how much I can say this, but yeah, everything was set up for her to begin with. I just can't believe it. Even this didn't happen to me. The vampire that made me had some hiccups along the way. Well, making me. It took some time for him to find a unholy ground. She was already on the unholy ground whenever I gave her my blood. As he just smiles wickedly. As he just sees another hand just come out of the ground. As he just seen her whole body just, her head now sticking out of the ground. As she's pulling herself from the ground. As she is just very dirty from the dirt and everything that was on her. As she is just coughing and everything. She's coughing from the dirt. And she is just out of it right now. She is very out of it. As he thinks, damn, I forgot. As he says, sorry, girlie, I forgot one thing. As she smiles wickedly as he runs at super speeds. And a minute or two minutes pass by as he comes back with a human man. As he says, girlie, this is your first meal. As he throws the human that was knocked out by this vampire. As he just smiles as he says, as he just sees this girl just pound on the guy as he sees her fangs just come out as without a moment's notice, as without even second thought, she just bites into the man's throat as she just sucking him dry. As she's just sucking without even second thought, as she's just sucking and sucking and sucking. That's all she can think about is blood, 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 blood. The moment she came out of that grave, that's all she could think about is blood. As she was about to run and find blood herself, but the vampire brought blood to her. As she didn't think at all, as she just kept sucking him dry. As she sucked him dry, as this man is dead. as the vampire thinks, huh, you might need another one, don't ya? As Queen looks at the vampire as she shakes her head up and down vigorously, as the vampire smirks even wider as he says, "You are gonna be a bloodthirsty one," as he laughs psychotically as he runs and gets another human male. Um this one would be, I would say, older. He's in his mid age. As this one is still awake. As he throws the human to her, as she pounds on him, as she holds his neck up, neck to her mouth, as her fangs come detract, detract, detract or etract, detract. Yeah, her fangs detract or etract. Yeah, her fangs etract as she bites into the guy's neck as he's screaming out in pain, as she covers his mouth, and all you hear is muffled screaming as she is savoring the blood and his screams. As she has no she doesn't have any thought on anything else. She's just thinking on his pain and the blood. That's all she's thinking about, blood and his pain. As she's savoring his pain, without her even realizing, she's in love seeing this guy's pain and how much pain he's feeling, without her even realizing it. As she sucked him dry as well. As when she's done with him, all you see is two empty husks of human males. As she drops this the second one, as he just plops on the ground. As she just after a minute or two, she finally regains her sense of self. As she's just thinking, what did I do? As her eyes are wide open, as she looks at the two dead bodies that's below her, as she's remembering everything that she did. As this vampire is very happy that his new underling, or the vampire he made, is very much like him in many ways. As he says with a laugh, "Little miss, you are very much like me whenever I was reborn into a vampire." As he laughs a little bit, as he says, "Though I don't remember me turning the humans into a husk, but that just might be your vampire power. I don't know. Whatever it is, you can find out yourself. I need to do something. I need to do my own business, but I'll keep tabs on you, sweet cheeks." As he runs very fast, as Queen is very angry, as she tries to run to him, but whenever she ran so fast that she tripped on a what's it called? Fuck. She tripped on a tombstone. Yeah, she tripped on a tombstone, and she broke the tombstone in half whenever she ran into it. As she tripped and she flew a little bit. as she fell on her face into the ground, as she's very irritated, very angry at that. As she slams her hand down as she says, "God damn it!" As she's looking around for the vampire that did this to her. As she is just looking around, but he's long gone. She's even more irritated as she gets up and she kicks another tombstone, and it flies into she flies very far away. As she is very mad right now, as she's just holding her hand up to her hair, as some streaks of her hair come to her face, as she sees her hair, and she sees white. Instead of being blonde, she sees white. As she is very confused right now, as she's looking, as she's thinking, what did that monster do to me? As she's looking towards anywhere, anything that she can find. As she finds a window, and she runs up to it, but she runs into the wall next to the window. As she cracks the wall a little bit, as she thinks, "Gotta get used to this damn speed, god damn it!" And she's getting really pissed and really angry, very agitated, as she thinks, calm down, queen, calm down, as she looks at her hands and she sees that her fingernails is the same as the monster's. Her fingernails are pretty much pointed. Her fingernails are pointed. As she thinks, as she just taps the wall with her fingernail, and she notices that she's chipping away at the wall effortlessly with her nail. As she thinks, that's quite something. As she finally walks up to the window, and she sees her reflection. She sees that her skin is pale as snow. The first thing she notices about herself is her skin. Her skin is so pale. It's like snow. As she looks into her face and she sees her eyes, she sees that she has white hair, snow white hair, and her eyes are red, and her eyes has slits in them, like a monster would. But her eyes go down to her mouth, and she sees her mouth, and she sees her teeth. As she sees her pointed teeth, as she is thinking, I'm a monster now. As she laughs a little bit, that damn bastard turned me into him and turned me like him turned me into a damn monster. As she's getting to a breaking point right now, as she starts laughing a little psychotically, as she just laughs. I'm a monster now. I'm a fucking damn monster. As she punches the glass, and the glass shatters. As she thinks, oh god, I gotta get out of here. That made too much noise. As she runs out of the area. as right now she's trying to run to her home. As she's trying to run, and she runs into multiple things. She runs into a garbage can, knocking it over. She runs into another wall. As she's starting to get used to her speed. As she thinks, okay, I'm getting used to speed. Get used to it, Queen. Get used to it. This ain't gonna be a nice ending. Like Father said, life is gonna be hard. There's not always happy endings. As she says, if I'm really a vampire, there's gonna be no cure. I'm gonna be like this forever. As she thinks on the word forever, she thinks and she ponders on forever, and that word is foreign to her, as she doesn't really get the meaning behind forever and eternity yet. But whenever the years and eons pass, she'll understand it. As she finally gets to her house, as she opens her door, as she's just very, very mad at that monster. She wants to hunt that bastard down. That bastard that did this to her. As she just thinks, oh God, what if Dad sees me like this? Would he think I'm a monster too? As the next thing she sees or hears, she hears something that's running towards her door. As she's on edge, as she sees her doors slam wide open, as she sees her father step through the door. Well, I'm gonna leave it off on that cliffhanger, because it seems like I cannot get out of this picture. It won't let me leave this picture show the picture of her father. But yeah, I'll leave it off on this cliffhanger. As please tell me your feedback on this, because I really want to keep this series going. I have very high hopes for this series, and hope y'all like it. And hope y'all like, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section how you feel about this new type of content that I'm making. But don't just judge it because it's not a deku what if. But yeah, just like, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section how you feel with this series. Tell me yeah, just tell me. And yeah, hope you'll have a good night or day, and peace out.